What's up, YouTube? I want to welcome everybody to the channel. This is the first video for the channel, and I can't think of a better way to start this channel off with a what's in the garage type video. You know, I want to introduce you guys to the projects I currently have and what you guys are going to see on this channel. So without further ado, the first vehicle for the channel is this 2003 Dodge Dakota RT. This was my dad's truck. I inherited from him a couple years ago. It's not, I'm not going to say it's been neglected, but I haven't really been able to pay a whole lot of attention to it. I did replace the headliner in it. It was falling down about a year ago, and it kind of just has been sitting around while I was getting this shop in here all done up. Once the shop was done, then I was going to start taking care of the truck a little better, working on it, seeing if I could get it back up to snuff, maybe making some power even. So Dad got this truck a couple years ago. When he got it, it has some type of lowering kit on it. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It has some Hotchkiss shocks in the front and the rear. I don't know that it's a whole Hotchkiss kit though. I think it might have been pieced together. So we've been kind of trying to address some of that. It seems to sit a little lower in the rear than in the front. Also, man, this thing, it rides rough, I'm not gonna lie. There was some metal on metal contact, clanking going on up front when you hit a couple bumps. So luckily for me, I got a buddy that's the automotive instructor at the local community college. So we threw it up on the lift and took a look at it. There was a lot of ball joints that were wore out. The shocks were not in the greatest of shape. I think they were still all right, but I thought, what the hell, we got it up there. Let's go ahead and address all the suspension. While we were at it, we also took care of the brakes. So we replaced all the brakes, pads, rotors. The calipers stayed, but they got inspected. We replaced seals. The pistons were all right, and it stops on a dime now. It's pretty fun to drive. It rides a lot better. We replaced sway bar end links, tie rods. Most of it we replaced with Moog. There's not a whole lot you can buy for these trucks anymore. Unfortunately, the aftermarket support on it is a little weak. But we put Bilsting shocks in the front, and in the rear we put QA1 shocks in the rear. I couldn't get QA1 shocks for the front because they don't make any for this type of drop. It's still sitting a little low in the rear, so I bought some shackles, lifting shackles for the rear. We're gonna see if we can raise the rear up an inch. It raises an inch or two, so we're gonna try an inch first to see if that levels it out. If not, we can raise it one more inch. I think it'll be good after that. It's already C-notched in the frame from the previous owner. So after that, I think the suspension's gonna be good. We might do a little bit more to maybe make it get off the line a little bit better if that's the route we go. I think I do want to do some type of power adder, whether it's on this motor or if I do a Hemi swap, which I've been contemplating doing. We're not sure yet how we're going to handle that. I would like to do a 392. That'd be pretty awesome, but I think a 5.7 with some boost would be pretty good as well. And these 360s do pretty good with the power adder. So I've really been wanting to build my own turbo kit. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure. I've got some other priorities for all the vehicles before that, but that's a possibility. So coming over here, I'll go ahead and pop the hood. It's still pretty basic. If I can pop the hood. There we go. I guess not a one-hand person, I guess. So, taking a look in the engine bay, it's just the basic 360 5.9 that came in the Dakota RTs. It's got a Mopar Performance breather on it with a K&N filter. That's about it. It's still pretty stock. It is stock, not pretty. It is stock. That and it's got some exhaust work done to it. It's nothing special. It's got a turn down towards the back. No muffler, so it's kind of loud. Cats are still on it, but nothing crazy. It sounds pretty good actually. So I think that's one of the reasons Dad loved the truck so much. Other than that, like I said, we're playing with some performance mods. There's not a lot of wheel options out there for drag packs. I did get in touch with 1320 Wheels, and they did have a set of wheels that would fit this truck. So we might look into that. It just kind of depends on how we go with this build. I'm not too sure yet. The paint's all dirty. It's swirled really bad. I do have a side hustle, automotive detailing business. I've been doing it for a couple years now. I got certified by IGL. I'm a certified Kenzo installer with IGL. I went through Angel Wax's first training certification in Ohio earlier this spring. I also I went to Esoteric in Ohio as well 2 years ago and took their training course. I've been doing detailing for all my life, but not to that level until a couple years ago. After my dad passed away, I thought, you know, he's got all these toys. I need to make them last as long as I can, so I wanted to get into that. I was already a little bit of a mechanical guy, but I wanted to learn how to do it all correctly. So moving on over, we've got my dad's 94 C4 Corvette. I also inherited this one. I polished it 2 years ago. It's wearing 2 layers of CarPro C-Quartz UK. It's looking pretty nice. The water pump went out on it earlier this year, and I just haven't got around to getting that replaced. That's on the list, as well as new weather stripping. It's all pretty worn out. We did replace the acrylic roof earlier this year. I haven't taken the plastic off just because it hasn't been out. Ever since, once I got the roof back, that's when the water pump took a shit on us. And I just haven't had a chance yet. It'll get done. That's going to be part of this vehicle alone is going to be one of the vehicles on the channel that we're going to be working on. I don't know how much it's going to get. I'd like to do bigger brakes on it, something a little nicer than what it has on it. Maybe some wheels, make it look a little bit nicer. But so this car, Dad had this car for, I don't know, 3 years, I think, before I got it. And one of the things that really drew him to it, because C4s weren't really on his radar either, but I don't know if you see down there, it's got side exit exhaust, which isn't something you see very often on them. It really sets it apart from all of them. And I tell you what, like I said, C4s are probably one of my least favorite, but this car, Admiral Blue, it's a really good looking car. It really is. And you're gonna see me pull it out here later in one of the later videos. We'll take it for a ride. Obviously after we've replaced the water pump, and yeah, it's a pretty nice car. It's nothing crazy fast. It was back in the day, obviously, but horsepower today versus horsepower back then is a lot different. So yeah, like I said, these two projects. The Corvette you'll see a little less. The Dakota I've got a lot of plans for, so you'll see a lot more screen time with it. But both the vehicles are going to be on the channel, so keep an eye out for them. Alright, so you guys have seen what's in this garage, but these aren't the only vehicles on the channel. These aren't the only vehicles that are going to be on the channel, and you're not going to just see these vehicles. Actually, believe it or not, so these two are the ones I inherited. These are not the ones that have been my projects, you know. Those are ones that my dad had plans for, and I'm going to carry on with that. But I've got my own vehicles as well. So we're going to take a look. We're going to step out of this shop and I actually had another shop built right next to it. So we're gonna take a look at those vehicles I've got in there, my toys in there, okay? So let's step outside and we'll step into this one. This shop actually just got built and put up and finished about 3 weeks ago. So I don't have any insulation in it yet to keep it nice and warm. I don't have any heat in it. I don't have any electricity in it yet. No lights, so unfortunately it's a little dim in here, but we're gonna take a look at the two vehicles I have on top of the two that I have from my dad. And they've had a little bit more time spent on them because they're the ones I play with the most. So first off, we're gonna start with, this is my 2009 Pontiac G8 GT. I've had it for almost 3 years now, and it's Panther Black Metallic. It was paint corrected and coated almost 3 years ago as well. I did it right when I got the vehicle. It was my first vehicle I ever did. It's wearing 2 layers of CarPro ceramic Seacourse UK. It's holding up pretty good. I think I'm gonna hit it with a quick polish this spring, maybe this winter. We'll see. I've got a lot of work to do to this car, so it'll happen after that work is done. I don't want to mess up the paint while I'm working on it. So I haven't decided yet. IGL's got a new polish out that's got graphene in it that'll help kind of restore the coating, and I think that's probably what I'll polish it with. That, or I might use Essence Plus. I've used it quite a few times. It works pretty well. Either way, it's gonna get a quick polish and it'll be looking great. Not that it doesn't already, but it's got some scratches, some love marks from 2 years of being maintained since it was coated. But if you'll notice, it's got some different wheels on it. These are Ace Alloy AFF02s. I have them front and rear, obviously. They're 20 by 10.5 in the rear, if I remember right, and 20 by 9 in the front, as well as I did the CTSV Brembo conversion on the front. And the rear's also got Brembos to match. The bad thing about the Brembos on the G8s is, unfortunately, fitting a smaller wheel with a nice meaty tire for the strip is not as easy. I had a set of race stars for this car that now do not fit because I went with Brembos. It's a toss-up. It's a price you gotta pay to have something that looks cool and performs really well. But I have to find a different option for the strip when I want to go. So I also reached out to 1320 wheels, and I believe I'm going to be getting some of the Ford Star D5 drag wheels. They do clear rear Brembos and they clear fronts as well, and they look amazing. Very good looking drag wheel, nice meaty tire. We'll have that ready to go. So other mods, you guys are probably wanting to know what all is done to this car, and I'll be honest, there's not a lot done to it. I have a lot of performance mods. They're sitting, and that's what's going to go on this car this winter. So you'll have to stay tuned for all that. It currently has Cook's long tube headers. It has a full Cook's X-pipe, and out the back, it right now has SLP loudmouths. So the headers, the X-pipe, it's all catless. The SLP axle backs are pretty much straight through. So it's pretty much a full straight pipe exhaust. It's very loud. It's very loud. It's got a little bit of cabin noise. You know, it can get a little annoying, especially since the car still has DOD on it, which that might be one of the mods that's going on this winter. You'll have to wait and see on that. But it's a pretty good car, clean car. It's got the sport black and red seats on the interior. It was cool back in the day. It still kind of is, but the interior is a little dated, believe it or not, even though it's only a 2009. Alright, so the final vehicle in the fleet is this 2015 Ford F-150. It's an XLT. If you look at the badge, it says that, but most people, if they know F-150s, they're going to look at the grille and they're going to say, well, that's not an XLT. That's a Lariat. Well, I replaced the grille. It's a Lariat grille. Actually, my buddy put a platinum grille, paint matched grille on his truck, so I bought the Lariat grille off him. I really like it. It sets it apart. There's a lot of XLTs on the road, so it's a little different. As well as, if you notice, I've got right up here, I got Anzo switchback headlights, Morimoto fog lights, Morimoto LED bulbs in the headlights. You'll see it's got stock wheels on it. These are my winter wheels. Obviously, it's cold out, lots of snow, lots of salt. I don't want to get my good wheels dirty. So I've got the stock wheels on there now. It does have a set of 22-inch black rhino wheels that it wears in the good months, the warmer months. I'm not sure if they're gonna stay or not. We might do some type of different wheel and tire package for this truck. We'll have to wait and see. It's a 3.5 EcoBoost. And I've been reluctant on lifting the truck because I just don't feel like the 3.5 is the type of truck you lift. You know, it's a cool truck. It's faster than the 5.0, definitely. But it doesn't sound like a truck that you lift. And if I were to do an exhaust, it would definitely not sound like the truck that you lift. It just doesn't sound like a big beefy truck, you know. I don't know, we'll see. That was my thoughts before. So what I did is I actually, instead of leveling the front, I leveled the rear. I dropped the rear down a little bit. It still sits a little higher in the rear than it does in the front, but I got some lowering shackles. They're Ford Performance lowering shackles, actually, believe it or not. They dropped it down in the rear a little bit. It makes it look a little better. I did give the brakes an overhaul, painted the calipers red. G2 brake caliper paint, I don't know if you've ever used that or not. It's the best paint you can get for brakes. It definitely is. It's not powder coat, but it's the next best thing. It really is. I'm trying to think. That's about all I've done to the truck. It's my daily driver. It's my first truck I've ever had as a daily driver, and it's great. I love it. The 3.5 EcoBoost, it's a pretty good motor. I've been pretty pleased with it. I haven't noticed really any better gas mileage compared to my buddy's 5.0. I think they are pretty comparable. Of course, I don't know if I drive with any common sense like he does. Even though I'm a father and I'm an adult, I still like to play. So every stoplight is a challenge. It doesn't care. I don't care if there's a minivan next to me. It's time to race. If you pull up next to me, it's time to go. So this truck gets put into sport mode and we take off. Anyway, I've got some mods for this. They're probably what you're gonna see on the channel first. They're a little bit simpler mods, but I've got some mods for it that are gonna liven it up a little bit. If anybody knows anything about the 3.5 EcoBoost, it's got a lot of untapped potential, if you know what I mean. So we're gonna take a look at what we can do there to make it a little more peppy, you know. All right, so there you have it. Got 4 vehicles for the channel. They're all gonna get something done to them. I can't promise that they're all gonna get performance. The Corvette, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens with it. The Dakota's gonna get some good stuff done to it. The F-150, I've already got some stuff for it. We'll see. It might get raised up, you know. I'm not sure. The G8, it's gonna be making some more power. Stock, it's not too bad. First time out at the track with no drag pack. It ran a 13.6. Not super great, but it's respectable for a stock car, pretty much, you know. I didn't have the long tube headers. I didn't have the full exhaust on it. It was bone stock when it did that. So that's a pretty good number. It really is. And that was the first time. 1 pass. It's got a lot of potential. I've got a buddy with the same car. He's got a lot more mods done, but he's in the 10s. So that's a all motor car, no power adders. It's fast. So it's got a lot of potential. We're planning on hitting up Cletus and Cars. Cletus and Cars is gonna be in Indy this year. So keep a watch out for us. You'll see us there if you can attend. Like to meet everybody. And that's it. Welcome to the channel. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, share, get my name out there, please. Appreciate everything, and thank you guys.